on a slightly happier note, the government has finally admitted the Saudis did 9/11.
Oh, great.
Isn't that nice?
It is nice.
Nice article in the Atlantic magazine that just came out very quietly, and admitted that 2 decades of
We
US
like the
politics-
Haldane.
This is hilarious.
We went back
The
that
article
way.
in
It's
the
kind of
Atlantic magazine,
strange.
Very quiet. Just put it out there. Put it out there with all the other articles about Prime. New 9/11 evidence points to deep Saudi complicity. 2 decades of U.S. policy appear to be rooted in a mistaken understanding of what happened that day. My favorite one, here's my favorite one, and not to go on some kind of, spiral of conspiracy.
No, he would never do that.
This is my favorite quote. It's my favorite quote from the article, which I have. Indeed, some 9/11 Commission investigators thought the report went soft on the FBI to prevent morale from collapsing entirely. In light of new revelations, we could expect renewed criticism. How could the Bureau have been so ignorant?
I was kind of baiting him into that. You're going to take it.
We're doing under its nose. Counterintelligence, after all, is a
Because I wanted to push this pawn. If he went there before I got there, then I wouldn't have been able to get my queen back this way.
Agents continued investigating until at least 2021. And to judge by the 2021 document, knew about the Saudis' indispensable report support for the hijackers, but their work was shut down by the Justice Department. There will be lots of questions to answer. People knew this 3 weeks after 9/11, by the way. They knew that this was like a Saudi op, that members of the Saudi royal family or, at that point were very intimately involved in. And we, flew all those members of the Bin Laden family out of the country. And then we had Bandar Bush, the Saudi guy, on influencing our policies, sitting there smoking cigars, I believe, with Cheney and Bush and Rumsfeld, like 4 days after 9/11 or something. So this Saudi angle, by the way, that we've completely minimized that state's thing with 9/11 is very interesting. It's being admitted in the Atlantic, and senators like that guy, I forget who it was, maybe it was Phil Graham, maybe it wasn't Phil Graham. Somebody, senator from Florida, Bob Graham, I think, who just pursued this angle, was like harassed
here
by the
probably.
FBI.
I don't really want
His
to.
office, they would tell him he's barking up the wrong tree. This was a senator from Florida.
I could have actually just taken and then taken that pawn.
Bob Graham.
I mean, his king is still in the middle. I don't know. We'll see.
Get this right, but he was a 9/11 guy. He was always pursuing this angle, and yeah, former Florida governor and U.S. senator Bob Graham was always out there. And he was always saying things like, hey, I think there's something going on here, and I think there's a cover-up. And he was ignored and harassed and threatened and told that he was a lunatic and maligned, and then he died at 87. But he was a patriot, basically going out there and saying, Democrat, by the way, he was a Democrat from Florida, and he'd go out and go, I don't understand. This seems like a state-sponsored operation. It seems very weird. And people were like, no. It's actually exactly.
He can never move his queen over to the A file, though.
Way, that allows us to attack anyone and everyone. It's a ragtag group of stateless actors. Stateless actors. They don't have any state backing. They're a ragtag militia. You find them everywhere that we say they are. They're anywhere. You don't know who they are. They're anywhere. So that was American foreign policy for 2 decades, which is very funny. The Atlantic. By the way, not a big news story. Not a big news story. Not a big news story. You don't see it a lot.
Okay.
2 decades of our foreign policy completely wrong, based on this assumption that a stateless Al-Qaeda, this stateless militia, essentially, was roaming around the world trying to get nuclear weapons from everybody. It was completely untrue. If you read the Atlantic article, it was a state-funded operation where elements deep within the Saudi state national security apparatus funded these hijackers, groomed them, sent them to America. They trained, they carried out the attack, and then we invaded Afghanistan and Iraq.
So he did go there.
Countries had absolutely nothing to do with this,
Oh, yeah. If he takes this, I just take. And my king gets away.
2024, the article in 2044, once everyone has been dead for many years, will be.
That gets away.
Well, it also
Doesn't
seems
work.
like the Saudis might have had some
he's thinking that works, buddy.
co-conspirators maybe in our government.
Does it work?
Who knows?
No, it doesn't work. Right?
But that article will get even less attention than this article, if you can imagine. We have 1 date left on this tour, and it is in Nashville. It is in Tennessee. We are ending it in Tennessee.
Yeah, my queen protects though.
Nashville, Tennessee. The Comedy Mothership has sold out the Ryman Auditorium. at Nashville in Nashville, Tennessee. Also, by the way, next November, if you want to plan early, we'll be in Des Plaines, Illinois, the event center at Rivers Casino, November 2nd. Right,
a lot of
before the
time.
election at Rivers Casino in Illinois, and that'll be very exciting. But it is. We have one.
Oh my god, my
one
fucking.
left.
What was that? How am I not?
So more
Jesus,
tickets
I'm not
this
even
year
paying
than any
attention.
other
Jesus, what the
tour.
hell is
We've
wrong
gone
with me?
everywhere. Thank you. We've gone everywhere. We've gone everywhere.
Unbelievable! I don't.